Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Growfold, and today we'll be big box store plant shopping at the Walmart off of I-75 in Plano, Texas. You know that it is going to be a fun-filled big box store plant shopping episode today because I also will be showing you my baby chickens, Charlotte and Catriona. They recently got their coop made yesterday, so I know that the plant foldies, and for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome, my name is Richie and I do daily 1-hour plant shopping videos, so hopefully I can take you alongside with me. But really excited to showcase my little baby chickens, Catriona and Charlotte, and we're going to be seeing what plants we are going to be finding at this particular Walmart. Typically when I go to this particular Walmart, there is quite a bit of a selection, so we're going to see what kind of plants we will run into today. As always, please make sure you are pressing the thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. And give me a follow on Instagram. My Instagram handle is @Growfold. I'd love to connect with you. Send me a direct message anytime. So we're going to approach the outdoor garden section. So here's the thing about Walmarts around this time of the year. Typically, they will bring their indoor tropical plants outside. So I'm going to start just like I do with my Lowe's plant shopping adventures by going to the outdoor section. So you can see right over here, we've got some of these bougainvilleas. So bougainvilleas are beautiful flowering vining type plants. You can see this one is for $17.88. I really like the look of bougainvilleas. The only thing about bougainvilleas is I cannot grow them in the landscape because I am based out in North Dallas and my grow zone is 8B. We get really harsh cold winters and they're not going to do very well. Now I am excited to see an Arabian jasmine. Where my family's from, the Philippines, this is actually the national flower of the Philippines. It is the jasmine flower, $17.88. It's got very fragrant flowers. And you know what's interesting is you can actually plant this particular plant into the landscape on my grow zone, and for some reason it can be a perennial. It will come back year after year. So I am curious about possibly growing this sometime next year in my landscape. I've been really scaling back about just having the I guess the temptation to just buy plants that I see or I want. You know, we've talked about, you know, having plant budgets or really just having restraint, even though I find that the price for $17.88 is not a bad price at all. And I also want jasmine flowers. It's just one of those things where I have a lot of things going on in my life. And today's video, not only are we going to be talking about just the plants, but I'm going to be a little bit chatty, so bear with me. But I'm just going to talk about how do we mitigate plant burnout? How do we mitigate a plant addiction? But before we even get into that, you already know, plant foldies, I will be talking about classy rabbit soil. My question is for anybody that is new to the channel, have you pooped on your plants? Because if you haven't, you must go ahead and buy yourself classy rabbit soil. Classy rabbit soil is a local small business based out in McKinney, Texas. Definitely want to support our local small businesses. This is one of the best soils, if not the best soil substrate I've ever used. And no, I am not really a paid sponsored content creator. I truly want to just bring people forward to trying out this product because I really believe in it. So you can see that I am potting up my Aglionema golden powder that I bought from Peta's Planters, which is another local small business plant shop out in Dallas, Texas. Love Peta's Planters, definitely check it out. But to go back to it, you want to see how classy rabbit soil works. It is fast draining, it is super chunky, it is 100% naturally sourced ingredients, and the main component is, you guessed it, rabbit manure. I love the fact that classy rabbit soil is a complete soil. So you don't need to spend more money adding things to your soil like perlite, pumice, anything else to amend your soil. You basically have a complete soil in your hand, and that's the thing I love about it. It is actually at a lower price now for, I believe, $19.99 on classyrabbit.com. I would suggest trying out Classy Rabbit soil at least once. They do really well for Aglionema, especially plants that tend to want to be more on the drier side. You can see how fast draining it is. Look at how the water just seeps through the soil, but don't don't be fooled by how fast it drains. It does retain moisture. I really like that, and the fact that it is chunky, it leaves your roots to be aerated. The actual ingredients that Classy Rabbit Soil has is things like obviously rabbit manure, pumice, rice hulls, which is really rich in silica. And then we also have composted food waste, which makes this a very sustainable soil substrate. So you can see right here, I've watered up my Aglionema golden powder, and it is now potted up in Classy Rabbit Soil. Like I said again, plant foldies, I will talk your ear off about Classy Rabbit Soil, but please check out classyrabbit.com. I am very passionate about the soil substrate. Give it a try. I know several plant foldies have already bought it. Shout out to David for buying several bags of Classy Rabbit Soil, and also Leap. Thank you for trying out Classy Rabbit Soil. Let me know what you think, and I believe there is a promo code you can use called GrowFold if you want some extra soil conditioner. But anyways, we are now walking into this Walmart, and you can see right off the bat, they do have a bunch of clearance plants, which we're going to take a look at a little bit. You know, that's another thing that you can do in terms of saving money whenever you're at a big box store. You can find plants that are either on clearance, on sale, some type of Walmart deal. And I've talked about this in a couple of my previous videos, but definitely participate in big box store apps like the Target app, Walmart app, Lowe's app, or Home Depot app. There are loyalty programs where you will end up getting coupons and even getting certain points. I really suggest it because we all have our own smartphones. I believe that these these store apps aren't really going to take up a lot of space on your phone, but what it will do is it'll save you a ton of money. So, that's just a suggestion. I've talked about, ways to save money whenever you are shopping, and that is one of them, is looking for deals on the big box store phone apps. As you can see right here, we do have a bunch of these Bonnie vegetable plants. So I have a bunch of tomatoes that I'm growing in containers. They are doing extremely well, and I am actually on the hunt to buy some citronella. So my backyard tends to be more on the wetter side because I have automated sprinkler systems, and I have a really bad mosquito infestation and fly infestation. It kind of sounds a little bit gross, but I am going to go ahead and buy some citronella potted up plants pretty soon, because not only are they pet friendly, so my little baby chickens could nibble on them, and I swear a couple of my chickens started to try to eat up some of my pothos plants and some of my aroids that are growing outside. So I have to be really careful about that because they're highly toxic. But you can see right here, we've got a lot of herbs and vegetables, and I love the fact that it's pretty easy to grow plants, vegetable plants, as long as you have a lot of sun. They need full sun. And then you can just see right here, plant foldies, lots of beautiful ground cover. You can see that these are the rock roses, and you can see that this one is by Garden Expert for only $3.27. So these you can plant in your landscape. Obviously, these are going to need full sun. So in terms of a lot of the outdoor plants, or the outdoor garden plants, Walmart tends to have them, and I would go on a limb and say that Walmart is probably the most cost-effective big box store if you were to shop for outdoor garden plants. So as compared to Lowe's, Home Depot, and Target, which I don't even think Target really carries outdoor plants, but you can see Walmart still has quite a bit of outdoor plants, and these are really cool miniature sunflowers. And I love sunflowers. My natural, bird feeder is a sunflower because a lot of birds are attracted to it. This is only for $8.97. It looks like this is more of the container variety. And, the thing about sunflowers is you can literally just throw them out in your yard, and typically they will just sprout up and grow. I did that a lot with my zinnia seeds, and I just like having very low maintenance gardening things to take care of. So you can see right here, speaking of low maintenance, lantana, $8.94. This is the yellow lantana. So I recently bought some lantana from Proven Winners. So I like Proven Winners plants, especially the outdoor plants, because they have very good hybrids and genetics. They are literally Proven Winners, award winners. But Better Homes and Garden has these lantana as well that do very well. I recently planted about 6 lantana in my front yard. I've got white ones to match my white trim on my house. And what I love about lantanas, especially for my grow zone, which is 8B, we have hot summers in Texas. Actually, we have not reached the 100-degree weather. Most most of our weather has been 90 plus, but they are very much so drought tolerant and heat tolerant. And for a flowering plant, that is amazing. And also the fact that it is a perennial. So they come back year after year. Last year I actually planted some lantanas and they came back this year. So it is a proven annual. So anyways, plant foldies, I am actually having an amazing weekend. Thank you to all the plant foldies. Literally, I say this in every single big box or plant shopping videos, because you know what? If you are listening intently to my commentary, just know I want to speak to you directly. And I want to say thank you for investing the time to watch my big box or plant shopping videos, for investing the time to leave comments, interact with each other, and even just to have interest in my daily life. That makes me feel valued. That makes me feel seen. And I want to reciprocate that same attention. And just know that I see everybody's comments. I try to respond to everybody having questions. And just know that our community is continuing to grow. And I just want to say thank you to all of you. And also thank you to those that either participate into the Live Premier Chats polls, for those that drop a monetary tip in the form of a super sticker, and just for anybody that has joined my YouTube membership tier. I have to continue to shout out David, because it seems like every single live premiere, he gifts 5 YouTube membership tiers to some random plant foldies, and that brings a lot of people joy. You know, the world really needs those random acts of kindness, and so I wanted to recognize David for that. And then just for anybody that actually hits the like button and just watches my videos, that really means a lot to me. You know, I've been trying very hard to be consistent about my big box store plant shopping videos. I mean, you can see right here, even if it's just me talking your ear off for an hour, I feel like the community has really embraced my most authentic self, and that's me. I like to talk a lot. I might be a little bit repetitive, but know that this type of content has actually been very therapeutic for me. A little bit more about some of my struggles. You know, about 2 years ago, I actually struggled with a lot of anxiety. And at the time, I grew up in a very traditional, very traditional Filipino-American family where mental health wasn't something we talked about. And so I always attributed anxiety as just being stressed. But there's a difference between being stressed and just being very much not in control of your mindset. And a lot of people ask me, how do I actually get myself to do filming for at least an hour at a big box store almost every day, and then edit my videos, do a voiceover for an hour, and then jump on a live premiere chat where I try to engage with each and every one of y'all? Well, my diagnosis is literally I am OCD. I am obsessive compulsive, and I obsess about things. The good thing about, you know, me gaining help and getting therapy is I have utilized this ailment as more of a superpower. And when I say superpower, I have focused my energies in being OCD in a routine where you have to have the wherewithal in routines to be able to pick up a phone and film and talk for an hour. So that's full transparency. And I know that that's a little bit out of topic about some of the plants I'm showing, but I like to let you guys know that life isn't always easy, but if you can find tranquility in your plants, if you can find tranquility in finding kind people to relate to, whether it's your love for plants or even having those struggles where you might be depressed, you might have anxieties, know that that is a normal human feeling and that everybody has some type of struggle with that. It is just, how do we mitigate that? How do we regulate that? And how do we move past that and allow ourselves to live our best life? And, you know, last week was really tough. I wouldn't say that I had the best week ever, but you know, to end the weekend on a good note where I'm off from work, and next week is actually going to be my mother's 66th birthday on Thursday, so super excited to see her. My boss gave me an extra day off. I will be traveling to North Houston to visit her, so there are a lot of things to look forward to, and I hope that anybody listening to my ramblings of today know that no matter how tough your life can be, whether it's something as simple as work, or anything going on personally, know that there is a tomorrow. Know that the sun will rise again and tomorrow starts a brand new day. And I hope everybody has had an amazing Sunday. I know I have. I've been very productive. I actually watched my little baby chickens, love their coop. And when I actually opened up their coop, they really didn't want to leave it. They didn't really want to like run around my backyard. So things of that nature. But anyways, let's get back to the actual plants. I know I probably rambled on for a little bit too much, but as you can see right here, plant foldies, whenever you are going to Walmart, you will always see Oasis and Element plants. Actually, it's Element plants, which are basically their assortment of succulents and cactus. You can see that these succulents and cactus are very much so cost effective and budget friendly. As far as succulents and cactus, you just have to be mindful about having them grow in very fast draining soil. So fast draining soil could be using Classy Rabbit soil. I mean, you can see this $9.96. This one is an Echeveria that is actually blooming. Look at that. It's so beautiful. Or you can actually pot up a lot of your succulents and cactus using the Bonsai Supply. I will say I am an official sponsored affiliate by the Bonsai Supply. I will have a link with my link if you want to get some Bonsai Supply soil, which is really good for succulents and cactus. You'll get a discount and I'll get a little bit of a kickback from that link. So it's a win-win situation for all of us. But as you can see right here, it's super hot. I would say it was about 95 degrees when I went out and filmed. So plant foldies, just know I put in a lot of effort and a lot of energy to go film all of these plants. But I mean, how can you not go around and watch and look at all of these plants? Like, look at this. This is a begonia of some sort. I love the very bright colors. And you can see this is $8.97. This is the big begonia. So I really love the fiery red blooms. Now this is more considered an annual plant, but if you want this to grow as a patio container type plant, you will get some beautiful red fiery blooms. And I even love the copper or bronze leaf colors of this. It is considered an annual, so it would just grow for one growing season. I'm not sure if you can actually grow these types of begonias indoors, but needless to say, what a beautiful plant. $8.97. So we're just going to walk around and continue to just plant window shop. So I don't think I'm going to be buying any plants today, but I'm going to show you all the beautiful flowers. And have no fear, the main event is about to happen. The indoor tropical plants are actually out in this section, and you're going to see some amazing full selections, specifically Costa Farms plants. So we're going to see that in just a bit. For now, let's enjoy all of the beautiful blooms and outdoor garden plants at the Walmart Garden Center out in Plano, Texas. And foldies, you can see that we've got several flowering, blooming plants that are available at Walmart. This Walmart typically has a really full outdoor garden section, which I appreciate. It is a bit of a drive for me to make it down here, but it is worth my while. On my way down to this Walmart, I typically stop at an Asian store called 99 Ranch to get some of my groceries, as well as a Japanese grocery store called Mitsuwa. I love Japanese green tea, so I like to get my loose leaf green teas there. So it is almost like a 2-in-1 special where I can do a big box store plant shopping video and do a little bit of my grocery shopping. So I live for the weekends that I'm off. I really do cherish my time off, and I feel like I can maximize on my productivity when I'm able to do that. But as you can see right here, plant foldies, this is the one lone coleus plant that we have here. This one's a little bit more sun stressed. It's got a little bit more sun than it's typically used to. So you can see that the leaves are a little bit more bronze. This one is another easy to care for plant. It is another plant I just feel like a lot of people don't really consider as a plant that you would grow indoors, but you can grow that plant indoors. And take a look at these beautiful flowering begonias. Again, you can see this one is that fiery red bloom with the bronze leaves. And this one on the left, which I'll pick up in just a second after I show you this. I mean, just look at how beautiful this is. I am so tempted to buy this plant because it's so beautiful, but that is another prime example of just because a plant is really beautiful or it speaks to you doesn't necessarily mean you have to pick it up and buy it. You can pick it up and admire it, but just leave it at the big box store. I know that I've been trying to give people options where you are able to manage your finances a little bit more. So I will honestly say that I've been a little bit reckless with the amount of Aglionema that I've been getting from my overseas partner, the person that's been sending me some of these plants. I need to slow down a little bit. I know that I need to slow down, but I laugh at myself because I am really addicted to Aglionema, and my plant addiction is real. I've had some people tell me to stop talking about plant addictions, but truthfully, for anybody that is a plant foldie, I even saw some of the people that commented on how many plants that they are typically growing. If you have more than 100 plants, then I would say we have a slight plant addiction, or you have the means to actually have the time to take care of all those plants. So just some of my commentary on that. But as you can see right here, we've got some caladiums. The strap leaf caladiums are really nice. And then we are just going to walk through here. We're almost to the indoor tropical section of the plants, which you really want to watch till the very end because there are some beautiful full selection of plants at this Walmart. As you can see right here, we've got some blueberries as well. And the only thing I know about blueberries is that they need more acidic soil. And let's take a look at these crepe myrtles. So these are the dark leaf crepe myrtles, these first editions, which actually started to show up in the market about 6 years ago. I live in an area where crepe myrtles thrive. They love the hot Texas summers, and they don't really like to stay very moist or wet because they are more susceptible to fungal diseases or mildew. But you can see right here that stark contrast with the white blooms and the dark foliage, absolutely stunning. Now with crepe myrtles, again, they need to have full sun. They typically start to bloom early to late summer, and then lose their blooms by the fall season. But I would even say that North Dallas has their spring type cherry blossom season in the summertime. So I really like that. And as I spin around here, you can see that Proven Winners plants. Let's talk about Proven Winner plants. These are the Hollywood Hibiscus series. These are for $24.94. These are plants that definitely are a little bit more hardy. Proven Winner plants just typically have better genetics when it comes to their outdoor plants. That's why I always recommend it. And you can see right here, this one right here is a beautiful oleander. So here's the thing about oleanders. This is a variegated version, but oleanders are very toxic to animals and humans. They are considered poisonous. So if you have any furry creatures, like for instance me, I don't think I can put this in my landscape because I can't really control a lot of my baby chickens' habits of what plants that they're biting into. So as far as that plant plant. It is a beautiful flowering plant, but you have to be really mindful that it's super poisonous. Then we have the Japanese Aralia right over here. I love the leaf shape of this plant. You could possibly grow this indoors, but they do better outdoors. There's certain plants that are borderline better to grow outdoors than indoors, and this is one of them, where this is a better plant to grow outdoors, and it is actually considered a perennial. You can grow this in my landscape, which is 8B, which is exciting. And then we have a bunch of these tropical container garden type plants where you have Sansevieria and Mandevilla flowers. So these are arrangement. These are what you call those instant container planters, where you already have a combination of different types of plants. You just kind of have to repot it in a bigger or slightly bigger planter. But let's just continue to walk around here. Plant foldies. If you like what you see, definitely leave some comments about the plants. And if you made it this far into the video and you have not pressed the thumbs up or like button for this video, my first question is, why would you not press the like button for this video? I worked super hard for it, and hopefully you guys would be kind enough to at least press that button. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. It is a simple, easy act of kindness. All I'm going to say is just press that like button for me. I'd really appreciate it. And then as you can see right here, plant foldies, we are looking at some flowering shrubs, gardenias. I love gardenias. I've just never been able to grow them successfully. They smell very fragrant. I love them. I would like to make one into a bonsai someday. And then as I spin around here, we've just got a couple more proven winners plants. These are the hibiscus flowers, and we also have some Island Bloom hibiscus hybrids by Costa Farms. So Costa Farms has really been bringing the heat in terms of outdoor tropical patio type plants. I mean, you can see right here, it is Mandevilla season. Beautiful tropical vining, blooming plants. And then we're gonna go spin around here. You can see that they do have the Island Bloom series again, where we have some cordyline, or actually this isn't cordyline, this is a Dracaena marginata colorama. Say that 3 times, it is a tongue twister, $5.84. And then we also have the cordyline Hawaiian tea plant, the kiwi series, for $5.84. So we're going to spin around and take a look at some more of these plants, and then I'm going to show you my beautiful chicken coop. So hopefully you don't swipe away. Hopefully you guys don't stop watching the video, because I've noticed when I used to put origami, how to fold origami paper crane videos in there, people would just like stop. YouTube analytics tells and shows me everything. And so I'm hoping, even though I give you a little snippet about the baby chickens that might not be your thing, I hope that you will watch till the very end to actually see the indoor tropical plants, which is why I know most of you guys watch these videos, but I like to sprinkle in just a little bit more of my personal life, my other interests, just because I want it to be more of a personalized big box or plant content. I know that there's only so many times we can just see me picking up plants and talking about the care tips or the plant pricing. So hopefully that kind of shakes up things a little bit in a good way. So let's just keep walking around here, and then I'm going to head on over to show you my chicken coop. Plant foldies, are y'all ready to see my baby chicken coop? So this is just a small short clip of building the chicken coop. My sister's husband Clinton, thank you for stopping by and helping me and Luke actually build this coop. You can see that we've got most of the sections here. Super excited, and I only got this chicken coop for only $219. Yeah, $219 at walmart.com. It was delivered within 4 days, free shipping. And you can see that we're drilling into this, and it is super sturdy. It just looks like the same color of my house. And I am just really excited to actually show you the finished product, which is the next day. So you can see right here, Charlotte is my barred rock hen right there, the dark one, the black one. And then we also have my Rhode Island red, which is Catriona. As you can tell, last Saturday, it could have been tragic because there was a hawk attack where basically Catriona went missing. We really thought that the hawk had eaten her or something happened to her, but she was found in a neighbor's backyard. But now that we have a chicken coop, I believe this chicken coop is perfect. Again, shout out to Angelique. They're their aunt for sending a lot of super stickers to help fund this chicken coop. I really appreciate any plant foldies that support my chickens in the form of sending a monetary tip such as a super sticker. You can see that the funds you send me go toward my little baby chickens, and you can take a look right here. They've got their water. They are just living their best life. And you know what? I am now just really happy in the fact that they are aerial predator protected, so they can be out here getting all of the rays of the sun, really getting that natural light. And you can see I opened up the coop. You can see that they have some little nesting boxes right here. They have separate nesting boxes and a place to stay at night. I will say that overnight they had to be brought in here because they didn't know to come up the little run. But this morning when I woke up, I saw them already eating. I have a little bit of a fly situation, so I bought some fly traps. I just don't want a lot of flies buzzing around my baby chickens. My backyard tends to be a little bit more on the wetter side, so I'm trying to mitigate that. But this morning, what a glorious Sunday morning where they're just enjoying their chicken feed. As far as my chicken feed, I feed them Mana Pro Showbird. I try to give them the best type of food. And then later on in this video, I will also show you a little clip of them eating their salad or their lunch salad that I give them. I give them their own little greens at noontime as well as early evening because I want to just give them the best food possible. But again, plant foldies, what do you think? What do you think about the coop? I think it's super cute. It matches my house because my house has that grayish blue tone on it, and it also has a white trim. This was the perfect size for a chicken coop. And I know that as far as like digging predators, I do need to still put some limestone around the edges so that way predators can't dig under the coop. But otherwise I just think that they are loving it more so than where they were originally, which is basically a pop-up tent. I like the fact that this particular coop is one that was very cost effective. Walmart.com, do your shopping there if you want a chicken coop for two. And I highly encourage any plant foldies that are able to have backyard chickens. Let's go ahead and hashtag popularize chickens. I really love that. And you can see that is my Japanese maple. That is my Kiyohime Japanese maple that I've been growing for about 5 years. You can see a little bit of my backyard. And what do you think? It does match my my house. Doesn't it look like a little miniature extension of my house? Please sponsor Charlotte and Catriona in the form of a super sticker. So if you're watching today, you can leave a monetary tip, a super sticker of any monetary tip as a gift for these little baby chickens, because I will continue to utilize those funds to keep feeding them the best food and maybe even add on to their coop. So there you go. All right, plant foldies, we're back at the main event and we are now looking at all of these indoor tropical plants. Like I said again, if you have not made it this far into the video and have not pressed the thumbs up or like button for this video, can I please, even if you just do it for the baby chickens, press the thumbs up or like button for this video, because it does help push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. We're hoping that we can at least get 100 likes within a 24-hour span. That is the sweet spot or the magic number in terms of this video getting pushed out to different types of people that may have not discovered our plant folding community. So definitely do that. But as you can see right here, these are by Growers Bench Monstera Thai Constellation. $29.97. We've got a philodendron campii. So this is another beautiful philodendron. It's just a green variety, but if you'll notice, it has some beautiful texture to the leaves. This one can get very narrow, long, clumping leaves for $29 and actually not $29, $19.97. So Growers Bench, which is basically the curated version of Wild Interiors, has a lot of these plants. I love the philodendron silver sword. Shout out to Dee, my plant foldie that gifted me a philodendron silver sword. It is doing fabulous. And you know, for any plant foldie that just has that that genuine kindness to gift me plants, to gift me super stickers, y'all just know that you really do bring somebody joy. If it's not me, if you're gifting things to other people, just know that that extra positivity, that positive energy is always going to be returned to you in a form of a blessing tenfold. So I did want to shout out Dee for getting me that philodendron silver Silver Sword. It is doing fabulous. She actually sent it to PETA's planters where PETA held on to it. So if you are wanting to send those types of plants, you can always just ship it to PETA. PETA tends to get a lot of those plants anyway. And I did want to just say thank you to Dee for that. And thank you to, whatchamacall again, Grower's Bench. I mean, look at this. Philodendron Ring of Fire for $19.97. Here's the thing I discovered about Philodendron Ring of Fire. It is very much so influenced by the amount of light you give it. So if you are not providing it a lot of bright indirect light, it will revert more so to a greener color. So give it lots of bright indirect light. I tend to bring a lot of my philodendrons or aroids in general outdoors. So my patio is now clear of my baby chickens, which means I am moving some of my Aglionema that I received from overseas, and I'm growing them so they can actually establish and acclimate better in my shaded backyard patio area. I've noticed that any type of plant that you bring outdoors, if you are ever trying to rehab a plant or actually get a plant to grow a lot, you can always just take them in a shaded area and grow them outdoors. Trust and believe. If you say have like a monstera that you want to grow and size up, any type of climbing philodendron, or any plant that you've struggled with, like for instance, I actually had some syngoniums where they got very leggy. I just chopped them back down to the last node and they make a full recovery. I'll show you videos of that on my YouTube membership tier, how I rescue and rehab plants, and then like the before and afters. So again, plant foldies, if you have not joined my YouTube membership tier, which is called the Super Plant Foldie for only $2.99, it is the price of a cup of coffee. You can just click the join button if you're watching this video on a computer, or you can look in the comment section. I'll have a direct link pinned in the comment section where you can hit join. So definitely take a look at that. But as far as all of these plants right over here, this Walmart really does have a lot of plants growing outdoors in a shaded area. This is a Xanthosoma. This is a Costa Farms Trending Tropical plant. So I've actually had a Xanthosoma in the past, and it is a beautiful plant. It kind of reminds me of a combination of like a Caladium and an Alocasia. I love the look of the plant. It's just not the best plant for me to grow because it does need a little bit more frequent watering. So that is really the plight of my plant care, or actually the obstacle is I just don't have nearly as much time to water my plants. So whenever I am doing big box or plant shopping or just looking for plants to grow in my collection, I need some that are a little bit more forgiving and drought tolerant. This one right here is a beautiful Alocasia Silver Dragon. Like, I would love to be able to grow an Alocasia Silver Dragon because it really does look like somebody spray painted the veining on the leaves. It looks unreal. It is stunning. And for $19.84, this is a Costa Farms Trending Tropical plant in a self-watering planter. I would suggest growing Alocasias in a more fine semi-hydroponic substrate, such as Lechuza Pond. I think you will get better results growing them in semi-hydroponic substrates versus growing them in a soil substrate. That's just my honest opinion for Alocasias. And if you ever send an Alocasia to Plant Heaven, you can actually send it back to earth by just letting it dry out completely and just hydrating the corms. They will take some time to grow back, but I actually had a variegated Alocasia Frydek that went to Plant Heaven, but I was able to resurrect it and make it back into, its form or glory. It just took a while, but I call Alocasias what you call the phoenix plant. So it can come back from the ashes and thrive again. This one is a Syndapsis Trubii Moonlight. I have one. It is a very slow grower, but needless to say, it is a beautiful Syndapsis. And look at this. Look at all of these beautiful golden pothos in hanging baskets. So this is by Garden Expert, which is actually getting its plants from Costa Farms. So this is the Garden Expert line, which is by Walmart. That is their indoor or outdoor garden label. And you can see right here, trailing plant in a 6-inch hanging basket for only $10.97. Very good value for that house plant. So if you're looking to save money, if you need a plant that's easy to care for, if you need a beginner plant, please buy yourself a Garden Expert Golden Pothos from Walmart for only $10.97. So plant foldies, I'm just going to spin around and show you some more of these outdoor garden, indoor tropical plants. Feel free to leave in the comment section what you think, what you're growing, what you bought at Walmart. I need all the comments from the plant foldies. You already know I'm going to repeat myself and say this, but I love it when you guys leave comments in the comment section. So let's just keep walking around here and picking up some plants. Plant foldies. I love the fact that this Walmart has so many plants. So you can see that I've shown you a lot of these Costa Farms plants. So Costa Farms is bringing the heat at this particular Walmart. And you can even see right here, this is for $5.77. This is a Sansevieria or a snake plant with a little baby on it. Love that. So, you know, Sansevierias are super easy to care for plants. And a lot of the plants that I've shown you, whether it's the pothos plants, the Costa Farms Trending Tropical plants, the Syngoniums, the Fittonias, the Croton plant right over here. This is the Sunny Star Croton. I want to grow Crotons so bad, but I just feel like they need so much light and consistent watering that the only way I would be able to grow them is outdoors in full sun with a automated sprinkler. So I don't know. It's one of those things where certain plants we could just admire while we're out and about just going big box store plant shopping. I mean, you can see here, this is a Pilea Palea Pan Am. I used to just want to grow this plant, but you know, with Paleas, it's one of those things where you have to stay on top of the watering. And for me, I've just learned to just admire plants for what they are while I'm just shopping, but I don't necessarily have to bring them back home. You know, that's one way I've really regulated from spending a lot of money and really oversaturating my plant collection. This one is for $19.84 in Aglionema Golden Fluorite. And I haven't seen a lot of Aglionema releases by Costa Farms in most recent weeks, and I'm hoping that we'll get a flood of Aglionemas or a new crop of Aglionemas from Costa Farms, because I have to say Costa Farms has made it possible for us to even have Aglionemas available, more of the colorful varieties. I will notice and you know, recognize a lot of the vendors that I've run into contact with. They are selling more Aglionema plant foliage. As you can see right here, we have lots of plants, and we're gonna go look at my little baby chickens one more time, just a little short clip, so don't swipe away, don't stop watching, because I still have some more plants to show you. But you can see I made a little salad bowl for them. So their little mixture is, I have a bunch of carrots that I've grinded up and made into tiny pieces. I always feed them organic spinach that I buy from Target, and then I also mix it in with chia seeds and all sorts of other seeds. I also put oyster shells in there, and I have a little bit of vitamin powder that I mix in. So you can already tell that even though these are not necessarily quote showbird quality birds, I just want to give my little baby chickens the best food and best life possible. I mean, look at Catriona. Look at how beautiful her brown plumage is, also with Charlotte, and that's really based on their diet. I'm just happy that they are able to be outdoors now and get some sunlight. Natural light is very important for my chickens and just people in general. That vitamin D is definitely going to help them out. But you can see right here, they are living their best life. And for all of the plant foldies that continue to ask about my little baby chickens, just know I want to continue to share their journey with you, and hopefully I am able to get them to the point where they are laying eggs, and I might even do a video on their first eggs that they lay for me. And then I might even end up adding 2 more baby chickens maybe next year, just depending on how things work out for me. You know, with winter, I just need to see how that works. But I am so happy about this chicken coop, and you can just see right here, Charlotte. So if I can get some comments from y'all, let me know what you think. And again, if you want to sponsor, support, gift, bring some joy to these little baby chickens, feel free to drop a super sticker at any point, whether it is at a live premiere chat or even just as team replay. And I did want to also show you Cultivation Corner.
Hey guys, I'm Janae from Janae Simone.
I'm Steve from I Live Plants.
And I am Richie from Growfold, and we are
Cultivation Corner. We are so excited. We have a plant podcast. We talk about any and everything, all things plants, and we premiere every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube at cultivation_corner. So be sure to tune in and watch us.
Follow us also on Instagram, and be sure to share our videos and our episodes with all of you plant lovers. We need more cultivators, right,
Yes.
Steve?
Yes, we do. So what are you going to do? You're going to share the video. That's
have
what you're
to.
gonna do.
Have to. Today. All right, guys.
Today.
We'll see you on the next one. You can see there are just more tables and tables of Costa Farms plants. I would even say that this particular Walmart is super full. As far as the merchandising, I would just say, if I'm being super nitpicky, that maybe the organization could be a little bit better. But, you know, I just love the fact that they have so many plants, and the plants are in fair health. This one right here is a Grower's Bench Philodendron Paraíso Verde, and I'm going to take this down and try to show you the variegation. So this is a unique plant in the fact that the variegation is not impacted by the amount of light you give it. It is actually impacted by its climate. So hotter conditions will push out the variegation. Colder climates or colder weather will actually make it more green. But look at how beautiful that variegation is here, and it being outdoors right now with, temperatures being 95 plus degrees. This is giving it the best ample conditions in terms of getting that variegation. So with a lot of plants, a lot of it in terms of variegation is either initial genetics, kind of like the philodendron pink princess, lighting conditions like the Monstera albo, or a philodendron paraíso verde, where it is actually the climate or the heat that it's receiving. Now this is a begonia maculata, and you'll just see lots and lots of plants right over here. I do ask the plant foldies, if you've gone shopping at Walmart, what plants have you bought at Walmart? What Costa Farms plants are you looking forward to? I mean, because you can see right here, this one is labeled as a philodendron white knight. That's actually a philodendron white wizard because of the petioles being green. And this is a Shangri-La, Epipremnum aureum Shangri-La pothos. This is originally a Teruno World Series Japanese pothos, but it has now made it into the US market, and Costa Farms has been able to mass produce these and have these available for the general public. And so again, for those that have some, opinions about Costa Farms, like I said, again, as far as my interactions with Costa Farms, what I've seen from Costa Farms, I am just really thankful that they've been always kind to me, and they have always made plants cost effective and budget friendly for me. So, definitely take a look at these plants that Costa Farms is sending. And you can also see that whenever you're going to Walmart, you're going to see a lot of growers bench or wild interior plants. You can see this is another Monstera Thai Constellation. This one is a little bit overwatered. This one is for $29.97. So if you're looking for a Monstera Thai Constellation, you can either go to Walmart or you can even go to Target. So for those that have not watched my Target big box or plant shopping video, that is an interesting video I premiered the day before this video, and I would hope that you guys would take a look at it. And actually, if you ever want to binge watch or watch a lot of my content, definitely explore my YouTube channel. I have a lot of playlists, lots and lots of different types of topics. I even have my origami videos on how to make a paper crane. So I have to repeat myself and mention the original intent of this YouTube channel wasn't actually about plants. It was actually origami ASMR content. So I used to utilize these videos. I made a lot of how to make paper cranes or origami paper cranes. So plant foldies, I would really love for any of you guys after this video, if you have some time, to go look for the how to make an origami paper crane playlist, play a couple, learn how to make an origami paper crane, and let me know how that works out for you. Now, this is definitely going to work out for me in the fact that I am seeing a bunch of Aglionemas at this Walmart. Really excited to see that Aglionema gold and fluorite. And let's take a look at anthuriums. And no, unfortunately, it's not the trending hybrid anthuriums that everybody's looking for, the more velvety textured anthuriums, the anthurium dock blocks. This is just your blooming anthurium. And you know what? For $14.97, what a beautiful plant. I love the blooms, and I even love the leaf shape. It's got a waxy feel about it, and it's still such a beautiful plant, very easy to care for, and it is a little bit more forgiving in terms of not being able to water it as consistently. I really love the look of it, and hopefully you guys will also consider growing anthuriums. These are highly underrated when you compare it to the more trending hybrids that people are collecting. It is definitely a different ball game when it comes to that. And I'm just going to keep picking up plants. You can see this is an Epipremnum aureum lemon top pothos. So it is another Costa Farms exclusive. It's basically a mutation that they found while propagating pothos plants, and that's really how you get different varieties or different cultivars of pothos, is just through mutations. And I'm going to be interested to see what other pothos varieties we'll see in the market in the years to come. And I am just going to go ahead and continue to walk around here and show you all of these plants. You'll see that there is a variegated lipstick plant here. This one is another beautiful plant that almost reminds me of Hoyas, and I'm going to just show you some more of these hanging baskets that Costa Farms has available. has so many plants. I love the fact that I can still find budget-friendly plants. These are the self-watering planters by Costa Farms, $15.97, and we are looking at the quintessential essential plant to add into your plant collection. That is the Aglionema red Siam. Plant foldies, can I get a comment about how much you love Aglionemas? Can I get a like button? If you haven't already pressed the like button for this video, at least do it for the Aglionema red Siam. What a beautiful, easy care plant, a plant that I would recommend anybody that is growing house plants, buy yourself an Aglionema red Siam. It is a common, underrated plant, but we can make it popular by using the hashtag popularize Aglionema. It is right next to an Aglionema golden fluorite for $19.84. I would literally say that I have a legit Aglionema addiction. For any plant foldy watching this video, can you comment whether you are also addicted to Aglionemas and the reasons why? Because I can't even tell you why. I think it's because it is a plant that not everybody is about, not everybody is actually talking about. It's not a popular plant, and I like to just start my own trend. I kind of go through and march to my own beat, and Aglionemas, why not? It is a beautiful, colorful plant. Low light tolerant, drought tolerant, and I always do these polls where I ask if you have an Aglionema red Siam, and I will still see some plant foldies that say no. If you say no for not having an Aglionema red Siam, can we in the next week or two just buy one? Just buy one for $15.97. It doesn't cost that much. Try it, get a feel for it. So you already know I'm trying to sell Aglionema to the plant foldies. But anyways, let's continue to pick up some plants right over here. This is a beautiful gold global green pothos. This one is for $19.84. If you want the green on green variegation to be a little bit more pronounced, you have to give it lots of bright indirect light. Otherwise, you're not going to get the best results. And then as you can see right here, we've got more Aglionema red Siams. Can you tell that I just love an Aglionema red Siam? And look at that. That planter has a pink tone to it, so it kind of matches it. I love the pink stems, the red margins. And this one has several Aglionema red Siams you can actually separate. I know that David, another plant foldy, was able to send me a super sticker where he ended up helping me rescue a couple. I was able to split that Aglionema into several pots, so I have many Aglionema red Siams. It is my Aglionema that I would choose as the mascot for this YouTube channel. It is the one that represents this YouTube channel because not only is it beautiful, it has color, it is underrated, it is unique in a sense that it doesn't follow a trend. It is also universal and it's easy to care for. And that's really the content I want to produce, is content that's not I would say intimidating. Sometimes whenever you get into the collection of plants, sometimes you feel like you have to match other people's plant collections where you're getting the more expensive plants. Buy yourself an Aglionema. They typically are not expensive. They are readily available at big box stores, and you can get them at even local nurseries. I mean, this is that Aglionema golden fluorite. I can talk more and more about Aglionemas, but I'm going to wean away a little bit and just show you what else they have available at this Walmart. And this is an example of some easy care plants. This is just a regular ZZ plant, the green variety by Costa Farms for $15.97. And right next to it is the Costa Farms Trending Tropical plant. This one is a Raven ZZ, so the darker variety. Both of them are beautiful. Both of them are very much so low light tolerant and drought tolerant. So if you want an easy plant to take home, I would recommend these easy care plants. Let me know in the comment section if you actually grow ZZ plants. But as far as today's big box store plant shopping video, I mean, look at how full this Walmart is. I am very fortunate to be living out in the North Dallas area, where basically within a radius of 5 to 10 minutes, there are several Walmarts, several Lowe's locations, several Targets, several Home Depots where I can acquire plants. I would even say that the Dallas-Fort Worth plant community is a very strong plant community. We are even able to get a hold of a lot of these uncommon and rare plants for very good prices. So as far as the Dallas-Fort Worth plant community, it's very competitive in a sense that, you know, there's just lots of plants to choose from. But for somebody that likes to collect plants or grow plants, it is a plant heaven in a sense that you are always going to have access to different types of plants. I mean, look at this Dieffenbachia, $19.84. So they've got two different types of Dieffenbachia. I've been eyeing Dieffenbachia lately because I just feel like they look like Aglionemas, but I just know that the care tips are a little bit more challenging because they do require a lot more bright indirect light and consistent watering and more higher humidity. This one is a Dieffenbachia I wouldn't mind growing. This is a Dieffenbachia Sublime. Look at that variegation. And for $19.84, that is not a bad price for already like a large plant in a 10-inch planter by Costa Farms. These are the Plants with Benefits series by Walmart, but these plants are sourced out from Costa Farms. So again, Costa Farms bringing the heat. You know, some people have those opinions. It was quite interesting how a lot of people end up watching that very controversial YouTube video where it was called the Costa Farms problem, and there was just a lot of narratives there. Like I said again, plant foldies, whenever it comes down to social media and the way content is presented, make your judgments and opinions based on looking at the whole process holistically. I just saw a lot of people having very strong opinions, but just like me, where maybe somebody has an opinion about me, I know that I've been misjudged. So I always look at it and make sure that I see all the facts and options before I really make a strong opinion, because as you can see right here, you're watching this big box store plant shopping video, and you are also seeing that all the plants that I've picked up, the majority, I would even say 90% of these plants come from Costa Farms. So, you know, for those that always want to say, oh, I want to boycott Costa Farms, etc., just know that the reason why a lot of people have even made it into the big box stores is Costa Farms. They're the ones who have made it readily available for us to acquire the plants. Does that mean we're not supporting small businesses? No, that is not the case. You already know I'm always constantly talking about small businesses, but for those that do not have the luxury of having big box stores where they can get plants, or even having local nurseries more so to get plants, big box stores is where you would probably end up shopping. And I always say, if you know, big box store plants that Costa Farms is able to actually make generally available for the public brings more people into the plant hobby. I don't see anything wrong with that. But, you know, as far as the concerns that were brought up in that particular video, definitely valid concerns, definitely serious concerns. But I would also say, let's all look at it holistically and see where people can either make adjustments than to just throw rocks at a company like that. Because like I said again, and you know, Costa Farms doesn't sponsor me, they've always, at least the team has shown such kindness to me. They even offered to even let me know an explanation about those controversial topics. But I even let Costa Farms know they don't need any explanation from me and to me, because at the end of the day, I've kind of looked into all of that and know that, you know, as far as my opinions, I'll keep them to myself. But all I'm going to say is this: make sure that if we're ever going to look into controversial topics, that we're looking at it holistically versus just one person producing content in that narrative. And I know that I got out of just the big box or plant shopping videos, and I'm kind of finishing off this video on that note, but I feel like a lot of people end up getting misjudged. Social media is a powerful tool, but at the end of the day, it depends on how the narrative is presented, and it depends on how you digest that narrative. I leave everybody with that note, but hopefully everybody has really enjoyed just seeing these beautiful plants, because these tables right here, plant foldies, these are all mostly Costa Farms plants with a couple of wild interior design plants or grower's bench. But in terms of the cost effectiveness of the plants, the budget friendly of the plants, the variety of plants, we've got to at least give kudos to Costa Farms for really bringing it out there for all of our plant lovers. I hope you guys have really enjoyed this video today, at least seeing my babies in their new coop. As always, please consider joining the YouTube membership tier. It definitely helps this channel's sustainability. If anything, it supports my little baby chickens funding, as well as press the subscribe button with all the notification bell on so you never miss another upload from me. I typically do videos at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time with a live chat. This is Richie at Growfolds. I'll see you tomorrow. Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Growfolds, and today will be big box store plant shopping at Lowe's out in Plano, Texas. It is a late afternoon and I just got done with work. I've been trying to get as many big box or plant shopping videos out for the plant foldy community. As always, please make sure if you are hearing me today, press the thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. And give me a follow on Instagram at Growfolds. That is the fastest and most direct way to get in touch with me. Now, some of our plant foldies, and for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome. My name is Richie and I do daily 1-hour plant shopping videos with a live premiere chat. So if you're watching this during a live premiere, which typically happens at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time nightly, jump on the chat, say hello to the community. We've got a really friendly bunch, but as you can see right here, I haven't been as consistent with doing big box or plant shopping videos. Life kind of gets in the way. Work has really been super busy, but I am thankful that I was able to just go out right after work, drive myself all the way down to Plano to go film one of my favorite locations to go plant shopping at. And this is the one right off of I-75 for those that are familiar with the area of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, which is where I am based at. But you can see right here, late afternoon, it's actually pretty hot, but I wanted to make sure to get some new content for our plant foldies. So I really appreciate those that continue to watch my videos, even some of my plant shopping marathons, plant shopping compilations, just so we can all hang out and chat. But you can see right here, whenever you are looking at plants during the summertime, especially when it comes to big box stores, you'll see that there is a slight decline in how many plants they are receiving. So you'll see that a lot of these vegetables are almost to maturity. You can see that they've actually grown since they were introduced in the springtime. And you can see this one's an eggplant right here. There are some Lowe's deals happening right now. So if you're looking to save money while going big box or plant shopping, things that I would suggest to find budget friendly plants is, number one, go ahead and download the Lowe's app or any big box store app. So for instance, Walmart has a app on your phone. Target has a loyalty program, Target app called Target Circle, and you will be able to get points, coupons, digital coupons, all sorts of things like that. So I wanted to put that out there because people always ask me ways to save money whenever going plant shopping. Today's video, before we get into the big box or plant shopping, I am happy to announce that I was able to visit my 90-year-old grandmother. So in just a few minutes, we're going to actually look at some of her plants that she's growing this season, catch up with her. She recently celebrated her 90th birthday, and we will continue on with the big box store plant shopping after her little segment. I know a lot of plant foldies truly support my grandmother. Thank you so much for the love and support. Prayers for her continued health, and she always attributes a lot of her health, her mental health, her physical health to health to growing plants. So definitely listen to my grandmother as she talks about her plants that she's currently growing. But as you can see right here at this entrance of Lowe's, I like to just take a little bit of time to look at some of these succulents and cactus. Typically they are sourced out by Oasis Plants. So you can even see right here, look at the different types of textures for these succulents and cactus. I would love to continue to collect some of these succulents and cactus, but I've talked about just kind of downsizing and really controlling myself when it comes to impulse buys for plants. Whenever I used to go big box store plant shopping, I just felt the need to just pick up a plant because I felt like it was a good deal, even though I may not necessarily have, number one, the space for it, and number two, the amount of time to actually water and take care of it. So that's another tip I would say, is you will have a better experience growing plants if you are a little bit more intentional about the plants that you're placing in your plant collection, as well as realistically looking at the plants that you currently have, the number of plants. That kind of gets thrown away for me though when it comes to Aglionema. I do have another shipment coming from overseas from my friend who owns the nursery called leafcrafter.id. So if you're looking for overseas rare Aglionemas, check that out. But as you can see right here, I am just looking at some of these plants. Look at this barrel cactus. It's super prickly. And in just a moment, we are going to be catching up with my Lola Belen, which is grandmother in Tagalog, the national language of the Philippines, which is where my family is from. So kamusta mga kababayans? Please say hello if you are Filipino. Feel free to comment in Tagalog in the comment section. I always like to meet other kabayans, or what you call countrymen. But yes, so you can see that today's video is actually going to be a very interesting one because this Lowe's location has quite a bit of plants. I like to just take you alongside with me. Let's go plant shopping together. But at the same time, I also want to make sure that I give some highlights to my wonderful grandmother. I'm just so excited that she is still super healthy. She celebrated her 90th birthday. I happen to have the honor to actually host the party. And if you are not a YouTube membership tier super plant foldie, definitely consider joining my YouTube membership tier so you'll see more content. Hi plant foldies, this is my beautiful and healthy Lola, or Grandma Belen. She is 90. I'm visiting her. Say hi to the viewers.
Hi to everybody watching.
Okay, if you see grandma's plants, what you have a lot, huh?
Yeah, I have a lot. It's like my children that I took care every day.
Okay, can you tell us about your care tips? What do? You can show me how you make.
Oh, in the morning, I try to look if there is something that is like
not healthy, dead leaves.
Yeah, I groom. I take out the dry leaves to look it pretty and feed.
Yeah, Grandma, for 90 years old, how do you feel? Your health? What did the plants do for you?
I feel it really helps me. Like it's my daily
exercise. Yeah.
To taking care of my plants, and it makes me happy and makes me long life.
Yeah, 90 years old. Grandma, what is this your favorite? Tell me about how do you propagate?
Yeah.
How do you propagate?
I just cut.
Okay.
And cut and the bottom I plant it the one on top, planted the one on the bottom, and it grows.
Okay. Do you have any favorites, Grandma? I see you have a lot of these.
Yeah. Puto, ang dami ko niyan. I cannot take care of it. I have no place to put in winter, so
Grandma is giving plants. Look at all of this. How do you cut this? How do you propagate this again, Grandma? Can you show?
I just cut it and poke it on the soil.
That's it? So
That's
soil?
it. That's it. Don't put it under the sun.
Okay.
Put it in the shade and it will grow. In just 2 weeks, it's already
doing it.
having a new leaf.
Do you have any advice for anybody that's growing plants? I know that the viewers like your plants. What is your secret?
I can recommend the people the same as my age to plant, to take care of it, and it makes me long life, really. That's how I believe that it really helps.
Do you have a message in Tagalog for anybody that's growing plants for the Filipinos?
Mga kababayan, tumulad kayo sa akin.
Oh,
Mag-alaga din kayo ng garden at talagang nakakatulong. Siguro kaya ko pa more than 95.
oh yeah, 100 years old and grandma, you'll live.
100 years old. And I also eat malunggay.
Malunggay, okay.
Yeah. When I go to the Philippines, I dry malunggay and crush it, and every time I eat, I put it in my food. And I think it really helps.
And in plant foldies, if you see my grandma here, she does not need a cane. She's walking by herself.
Yes.
Grandma, your begonias, what's the secret?
The secret is
Okay.
put it in the shade. Don't put it under too much sun.
This was given to you by a viewer in the mail, right? And
Yeah.
then you propagated it?
Somebody sent that begonia to me, and it's especially this with lots with flowers on it.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And
Okay.
this rubber plant, it's easy to propagate.
Okay, how do you propagate it?
I just cut it. The small one is easier to grow.
To grow, okay.
Yeah, and put it in the soil
Okay.
and cover it with plastic
Oh.
in just 2 weeks.
May ugat na?
Yeah,
It'll
in
root.
just 2 weeks, it already grow na hindi mo na kailangang malaki.
Okay.
Mahirap pag malaki. Yung maliliit,
Okay.
mas madaling pa.
And then this is your free giveaways to the plant foldies. So we'll do a pre-giveaway. I can ship this to you, but this is Grandma Belen's
Yeah.
begonias.
Doon.
She says she has many more, so we can do some free giveaways. We'll do that later.
Gusto mo pa?
Yeah.
Maglagay pa ako, magdadala ka pa.
Maybe. Plant foldies, let me know in the comments if you want a free plant from Lola Belen.
Oo nga.
Thank you, Grandma.
Gusto mo pa?
Ayun.
Maglalagay pa kita. Itong mga madidilaw. Marami.
So plant foldies, thank you for just tuning in to my grandmother's plants. Hopefully you guys have not swiped away, clicked away, because we are going to go back to the big box store plant shopping. But I did want to just show you some of the plants she has over here. So this one is a philodendron heteroraceum, variegated form, and this was actually given by a plant foldie by the name of Jordan. Thank you so much for sending her plants. I really appreciate it. And then this one right here is a black magic begonia. I think that I ended up giving her as a 3-leaf 2-node cutting several years back, and every year she's able to multiply and propagate it. You can see she's got an Epipremnum panatum Cebu blue, pothos, lots of philodendron heteroraceum Brazils. And you know, as far as my grandmother, again, I want to just put this out there. My grandmother is my source of inspiration. She is the person that is responsible for my love for plants. And really, when it comes down to just my work ethic, the way I conduct my daily life, I really look up to my grandmother, just because to give a little bit more insight about my grandmother, and I'm going to just go on a little bit of a tangent, so please excuse me if I'm not necessarily talking about plants, but I really want to highlight how accomplished my grandmother is. For somebody that went through World War II, she has never shown any type of hate, but only has shown compassion. At age 12, she really had to deal with the war with the Japanese, but you know, for her, she has always shown love and compassion. You know, to think that somebody her age went through World War II and her daughter is actually married to a Japanese American, you would never think that she would have any type of prejudices or hate towards somebody. And for me, I think the world really needs to have a lot more love and compassion. And so those are things that I have learned from my grandmother in terms of just being very street smart. So for my grandmother, she only finished high school and that was it. She didn't have a college education, but for some reason she had enough smarts to be able to learn English and then also find a way for her entire family, her 9 children, she has 10 children, but her 9 children to be able to go to the United States and make a better life from themselves. So I'm so thankful that she was able to convince my father, who actually joined the U.S. Navy when the Americans were actually recruiting Filipinos back then, and that was our way and our ticket to the United States. So I'm really thankful that my grandmother really just had a lot of street smarts in terms of just the things that she's gone through. You know, my grandmother has seen the happiest of events in life, and also the most tragic events in life. You know, she's had to actually bury 2 of her children. She's seen death in the family. And for me, just being able to see my grandmother live to 90 and still be super healthy is a true testament that with somebody having the right mindset, for somebody to have the tenacity and kindness, and I always talk about this in my plant shopping videos, is the world needs to be kind. And that's why I'm very passionate about not having tolerance for anybody that wants to be toxic, for anybody that wants to be critical of people, because she has taught me that we always should show kindness. And for me, she's so generous with all of her plants. Like, she literally wants to give me all of her plants every time she comes by, because she's super proud of her plants. Like, every single plant that she has in this collection, she has propagated. She really doesn't like to buy plants. She's a little bit more frugal when it comes to her money. So for instance, this Etta Rose Aglionema, I remember just giving her like a small plant that I ended up buying at Plants and Planters, which is a nursery out in Richardson, Texas. And then she has been able to multiply Aglionema, Silver Bay, as if they were just rampant weeds. Like, anything my grandmother takes care of, she does amazing. So you can see that she has a lot of these plants under a shaded patio area. She believes that indoor tropical plants really need to be outdoors. She has mentioned that in the Philippines, they grow all of their plants outdoors. The concept of an indoor plant really doesn't exist. And she wanted to give me this Aglionema right here, but for me, I just don't have the heart to take that Aglionema until she's able to propagate and get more out of it. I did mention to my grandmother, as often as she propagates plants and gives it away, I tried to convince her to actually sell at a local farmer's market, or better yet, if she's able to give me plants, I may end up selling and being a vendor for any of the future PETA's planters markets, or just even the local Dallas-Fort Worth community where people are vendors. I would most likely call my plants that I would sell for my grandmother Belen as Lola Belen's halaman, which means plants in Tagalog, Filipino. So you can see right here, look at this beautiful Aglionema Red Valentine. I remember how she had massive amounts of these. She's given a lot of these away, but you can see how beautiful this is. My grandmother absolutely loves Aglionemas, and she always mentions that once I get my import plants established, that she would like a cutting or maybe a baby plant. And so for the super plant foldies, or even the plant foldie community that want to gift my grandmother plants, just know that if you do drop a super sticker or a super thanks, which is a monetary tip to give to any YouTube content creator, just know that those funds also go to getting her brand new plants. I would definitely let her know that it was from you. Again, to Jordan, thank you so much, Kabayan, for actually sending her multiple begonias and rare plants and Aglionema. So really appreciate that. But as you can see right here, gorgeous Aglionema. I mean, I'm really tempted to get these plants, but again, for me, just looking at my grandmother's plants, it just is a testament as well on how she is satisfied with the same plants that she has. She doesn't mind propagating the same Aglionemas, the same Epipremnum panatum Cebu blues, the same Philodendron heteroraceum Brazils. And I think a lot of that has to do with she is satisfied with the plant she has. I think a lot of times when it comes to the plant collecting community, we're always wanting to get the next rare plant. We're always looking for that exclusive plant. To her, as long as a plant is healthy, lush, and even if it is common, she just enjoys having all of these plants. As you can tell right here, my grandmother is a huge fan of begonias. And when you talk about begonia maculatas, she is able to propagate these plants. So just like my best friend Isaac, who has a YouTube channel called Hi JR Sings, my grandmother also takes a lot of the plants that I struggle with, because truth be told, I am not always the best person when it comes to plant. And I think it's because I am more so a plant hoarder. She has the space to grow it. And, you know, a lot of her plants are just stunning. You can see this is another begonia that was given to her by a plant foldie. So I always tell people the real star of the Grow Folds community is my grandmother. She really is a symbol of how plants are truly amazing, how much positivity it has on somebody's life. My hope is to be able to be of sound mind and body if I were to be blessed enough to be able to live up to 90 years old. Literally, my grandmother is so healthy. Her hearing is great. Her eyesight is great. She's able to walk, and she always says that as you get older, you have to push yourself to get around, to move around, to not be a victim of circumstance. Those are things that I've translated from my conversations with her, because she mentions that as you get older, you get into the mindset of really thinking about your mortality. How long are you going to live? Does she think about that as well? I would say yes, but her plants have really been just a source of her inspiration, alongside with a very strong family bond. And, you know, for me, having this space to be able to outwardly talk about my culture, Filipinos are very much family centric. That is one thing that I am super proud of. I come from a very large Filipino family. We are all hardworking, and we always try to show the best hospitality. And so for me, just seeing my grandmother instill that type of lesson is one thing. And I know that I'm just picking up her plants. I mean, take a look at this massive Epipremnum panatum Cebu Blue Pothos. This was not a bought hanging basket. This is a basket she created herself. And, you know, it's funny because whenever she looks at these plants, she always mentions that people in the United States spend so much money on plants that are considered pretty much weeds in our home country, the Philippines. I mean, you can see right here, she has a square box and she has just filled it up with so many beautiful Philodendron Hederaceum Brazil. And, you know, a lot of these plants she is considering doing plant giveaways. I totally forgot to pick the tray of those Begonia Black Magics, but I do intend to do some plant giveaways for the plant foldie community, where I might have some contests or things of that nature. Or if you're interested in even purchasing for a small amount of some of the plants from my grandmother, please leave that in the comment section below. Preferably, it's easier to connect with me via Instagram, so you can send me a message. But I think it would actually get my grandmother a little bit more excited to sell plants, because she doesn't really think of this hobby as selling plants. She literally propagates plants because she just loves the process. I mean, you can see this is another example of another beautiful begonia that a plant foldie gave her. So like I said, again, for those that, you know, buy plants from, say, places like Peta's Planters and ask me to bring those plants to my grandmother. Again, plant foldies, the kindness you guys have shown. If anything, don't worry about sending me a super sticker. If you want to support my grandmother and her plants, you can send her a super sticker and just leave positive comments of encouragement. She does watch this YouTube channel on a daily basis. It's part of her. I'm really trying to convince my grandmother to try to get a YouTube account, so that way she can join the live premiere chats as well. She's not as tech savvy, but if you ever get to a chance to meet her, she will talk your ear off in terms of just plant care or even just lessons in life. When I think about my grandmother, I get a little bit emotional because the life lessons that she has given me and my family is just, money can never buy it. Money could never surpass the life lessons and her legacy as an individual. You know, when you talk about people who live life, I would say she has such a strong legacy. And I think when you think about what your imprint is going to be in this lifetime, because we only have one life to live, when you reflect back on an individual's actions and what kind of impact it has on the community, that is amazing. Always awesome to just see all of the plants that she's been able to propagate. So you'll see that this is just a section of her back patio, and she just has rows and rows of plants. So you can already tell where I got this from, and it's really my grandmother. I used to just want to propagate everything multiple times, and this is one of her plants where she has made so many propagations from this particular begonia. And so I love the fact that this is one of the begonias I enjoy growing as well. I actually have one that my grandmother gave me, and I'm growing it outdoors. So in terms of a secret, you can see that her secret is just growing her plants in a shaded area outdoors. The only problem is whenever you are growing all of these plants outdoors, when winter comes, it is a little bit challenging to be able to just take all of these plants back inside. But I would say the best health for the plants is whenever you are growing them outdoors in a shaded area. It's easier to water. They're easier to propagate. They just grow a little bit more vigorously. So that is the case when it comes to all of my grandmother's plants right here. So I love the fact that that is what is seen today. So plant foldies, what do you guys think so far of the plants that I'm showing you from my grandmother? She is definitely somebody that loves begonias. Basically, she loves all plants. You can see right here, she actually used a ramen noodle bowl right here for the plants. So as far as what that looks like, I think that she's very resourceful with even some of her planters. So please feel free to leave comments in the comment section, and I'm just going to continue to walk around here and just show you in detail some of the plants that she has. You can see plant foldies, just all of the plants that my grandmother Belen has. She has a lot of these Ficus elastica. So you saw the Taniki, and now she has the burgundy right over here. And what she's going to do is she's going to end up propping these even more so. Sometimes she'll air layer them, but typically she'll just stick them in the ground. Her method of plant propagation is literally sticking the plant directly into soil. So chop and prop, and she goes, and she just makes so many different plants. Look at that variegation. And then I'm just going to show you some of the Aglionema and some of the plants that she has growing indoors right over here. So you have the Aglionema Golden Bay. That was one plant that I ended up giving her a couple years back, and she's been able to just propagate it. She really just looks for little babies that she can separate from the mother plant and grow. And then she mentions that if she were to just have a plant that she would keep in her collection, it would be the Sansevieria or the snake plants, because she says you literally can't kill them. The only way you would do so is if you just water them too much, if you give them too much care. And you can just see even more Aglionema Silver Bay, and that's really a testament about how many plants you can get from just having the plants you already have in your collection. You know, sometimes we get consumed in trying to buy every single variety of plant, but you can just multiply and propagate the plants that you currently have. I think that is definitely more cost effective, more satisfying, and I just love the fact that she has all of these beautiful Aglionema right over here. If I ever need an Aglionema Silver Bay, I can just ask my grandmother, and you can see right here she's got an Alocasia silver dragon that she's been growing outdoors. And I really think that is the secret, is that you know, is to be able to grow them outdoors. I'm going to round up my grandmother's plants right over here by looking at some of her outdoor plants. So she is a huge fan of plumerias. These grow so good in our home country, the Philippines. So you can see we've got lots of plumerias right over here. And we'll see what that is looking like in terms of how many more she can actually propagate. She's always chopping and propping. And so with my grandmother, if I ever need any plants, I don't feel the need to have to buy them. I can just ask her for a propagation, a cutting, or a fully established plant. And that's the reason why I feel like my grandmother should definitely consider selling some plants on the side. It would be some passive income that she has. And then you can see right over here, she's got a bunch of zinnia that she grew from seed, and she'll harvest and collect these seeds year after year. So let's look at the zinnia. And I believe she also has some jasmine, Arabian jasmine, which is also known as the national flower of the Philippines. We call it the sampaguita. It actually grows as a perennial in Dallas and also Houston. So really excited that I would be able to grow that in my landscape. But as I round up this video and show you all of her gorgeous plants, it's just really heartwarming for me to be able to create the content that highlights her plants and just the work she puts in, but even more so just really highlighting my grandmother as an amazing individual. I hope you guys will continue to support her plant journey, because I'm hoping that I can continue to make content with my grandmother. Again, she reads all the comments that are left for me in the comment section. So I always tell people, if it's not something that's going to be constructive feedback, I always say, look at what you post online and be very mindful about what you would say, because you never know who is reading. And I know that even when my grandmother might even see things that are slightly negative, it does upset her. But I always remind my grandmother that, you know, social media space, it's different, because oftentimes those who want to be negative, those who want to be critical, typically don't have the actual guts to say that to somebody in person. So I find it quite interesting. And so now we are going to go back to the big box store plant shopping video. So you can see right here, I like to go to Lowe's locations, typically in the outdoor section first, because they have so many outdoor plants readily available. And you can just see that they're merchandising the selection of plants. The plant pricing is amazing. You can see right here, proven winner caladiums. This one is a caladium snowstorm or snow flurry. Correct me on that one. Snow flurry is another beautiful caladium, light colored leaves, one that I would recommend if you want something light that is going gonna light up a shaded area. Caladiums can grow back year after year. They go dormant in the winter, and you know, this is adaptable to become a houseplant as well. Although I would say growing caladiums indoors is a little bit more of a challenge because you're going to need to give them quite a bit of light, warmer conditions, consistent watering, because if you don't give them that type of environment indoors, they are prone to going dormant indoors. So for me, I love caladiums. I've grown them in the past through bulbs. I remember just having a full-blown caladium patio garden because I ended up getting some really inexpensive, cost-effective, budget-friendly caladium bulbs at Costco. So, you know, going big box or plant shopping, or even just going to places like Costco or Sam's Club, you can find some savings that way. But for $6.98, you've got some proven winners, heart to heart caladium. So in terms of a heat-hardy, drought-tolerant flowering perennial, this one is for $18.88. This is a lantana, and I just recently planted about 5 lantanas from Proven Winners plants just outside my front yard, south-facing, so I could actually have these things take over my flower bed that sometimes gets grass and weeds. If you plant lantana, it's a pretty vigorous grower. You can see that it's got a couple of little seeds that pop up like that. But in terms of lantana, super easy to grow, very low maintenance, and for hot climates like Texas summers, lantana make a perfect addition to the landscape. Again, they are perennials, and for those that don't know what perennials are, basically depending on your grow zone, they will come back year after year. And then I'm just going to show you some of the tropical plants that you can grow indoors, but they do better outdoors. For instance, this Croton petra. This one is Summer Vibes for $16.88. I love crotons, but I prefer to just admire crotons from afar in terms of just watching them and looking at them whenever I am going big box store plant shopping, because if I were to try to grow them indoors, they've never been really successful in terms of me being able to grow them long terms. So, you know, crotons for me, I just prefer to do plant window shopping, and that's something that I have talked about. So if you hear some of the cicadas, I am actually outside watching my chickens as I do this voiceover, and just enjoying the weather as I do this voiceover. So you can see right here, we've got some variegated bougainvillea. This is a raspberry ice. Really like the look of this one as well. And you'll notice that there are 2 different types of variegated bougainvillea. You've got the one that was more of a red, or not a red, a cream variegation, and then a green on green variegation. And then you can spin around here and you can see that there are lots of beautiful hibiscus flowers. I love the double blooms of this peach hibiscus flowers. Now these will need full sun and really need to be grown outdoors. So just take note of that. Definitely lots of selection at this Lowe's location. You can see these beautiful double bloom hibiscus, the peach colors. I love hibiscus. I just know in my growing environment that these would only be plants that would grow for just one growing season. So these would be considered more of an annual, unless I try to grow these indoors, which is actually a little bit more challenging to overwinterize them. So, you know, lessons I've learned as I've tried to grow some of these tropical plants is number one, you can still enjoy them by just looking at big box stores or go plant window shopping. And then number two, just know that if you're going to try to overwinterize them, that you have to have the space, the time to be able to do so. So we'll see what that all looks like as well. And you can see right over here, we have some elephant ears alocasia bulbs that we can grow. This one is for $9.98. So if you want to get these big giant elephant ears, you can also buy bulbs at a big box store like Lowe. So we're just going to keep walking around and see what that looks like. In terms of more selection, we can see right here, we are having some plumerias, $26.98. So in terms of that, I like the fact that they have plumerias, but if you saw my grandmother's plants, we are also in the midst of finding plants that could be value added if you just find somebody like my grandmother who can propagate it. And so as much as I like plumerias and I could buy them at a pretty good price at Lowe's, just knowing somebody that grows and propagates it is another way to save money. So we're just going to keep walking around here, and I'm just going to show you what other outdoor plants that they have for the tropical section or outdoor garden section of Lowe's. Here are more succulents from Lowe. You can see these are by Oasis. And so I'm just gonna pick up some more succulents over here, and you can just see what that all looks like. In terms of the selection of succulents and cactus, Lowe's definitely takes the crown, because you can see that there are plenty to pick from at cost-effective plant pricing. And I did want to show you this lime sizzler bush. I really like that green on green variegation, and it has some blooms as well. This is another one that you can grow in hot environments. So this is known as the fire bush, and it's not a bad backup for any of the green on green variegated type bushes. So if you want something like that, it's one that I would choose and one that I would recommend, especially for a hot environment like Texas summer. So really pretty plants, and that's why I like to go to the Lowe's Garden Center to show you these plant foldies, because you just get so many varieties. And you can see right here, we've got the Madagascar palm. So this is a super prickly plant, but it does come out with some beautiful blooms as well. But let's go ahead and take a look at how much the price is right here. That is not a bad price considering it's already a pretty mature plant, and you can see we've got a bunch of these fuzzy opuncias and even more succulents and cactus. So plant foldies, let me know in the comment section what you think of some of the plants at Lowe's. If you made it this far into the video and you have not pressed the thumbs up or like button for this video, please do so. I'd really appreciate it, as it helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. So I'm going to take a little bit of time to talk about some of the terracotta planters. So in terms of my favorite types of planters, I always go to the terracotta planters, especially this one where it has a very simplistic, modern looking shape. Terracotta planters are great, especially for people that overwater, because terracotta will actually suck the moisture out of a soil substrate a little bit faster as compared to like the plastic planters. Now, I like to use terracotta planters because I have plants that like to be more so on the drier side. For instance, Aglionema. So I feel like terracotta planters are best for me, and I also like the look. You can see that they've got the gray neutral tones as well. So in terms of that, I just like the fact that we've got some neutral planters. I really like the look of it as well. And in terms of just the planters in general, you can go to Lowe's and find them being very cost effective. You can see these massive terracotta planters. They're a little bit pricey, and you know, in terms of the larger terracotta planters, you have to think about the weight constraints. Sometimes they're just a little bit heavy as well. And then you can see here we've got a bunch of asparagus ferns, different types of ferns, and this beautiful dragon wing begonia. It looks like some of the blooms have already fallen off, but I do like that waxy leaf shape as well. So in terms of the outdoor garden section at Lowe's, let me just give you a little bit more shots of the plants, and then we're going to go into the indoor tropical section, which is going to be the main event of today's video. So let's go ahead and walk into the indoor tropical section, and you'll see that this is a super full, lush collection of plants featuring Costa Farms and urban jungle plants, as well as Live Trends design plants. So I'm going to take a little bit of time to show you what plants that they have over here. Again, they just have rows and rows of houseplants. I love the fact that they look amazing, and most of these on this table are Costa Farms plants. So big box or plant shopping, you already know that you're going to see Costa Farms plants. So hopefully you guys are a fan of Costa Farms plants. I am, in the sense that they are budget friendly, readily available, and they are there for the masses. So let me go ahead and just walk around and show you the different types of plants that you can find. You can see that this particular Lowe's location just has so many plants to pick from. I mean, look at these massive ZZ plants right over here. We talk about ZZ plants all the time, but I will say with ZZ plants, if you're looking for an indestructible, easy to care for plant, a beginner house plant, get yourself a ZZ plant. This one is for $39.98, which is not a bad price at all, considering that this is a plant that you can kind of neglect in terms of just not watering it as much, and it is low light tolerant. So if you're looking for a beginner plant, get yourself a ZZ plant, especially if you have a darker space in your home. And then you can see right over here, plant foldies. We are looking at some beautiful philodendron. This one is a Live Trends design plant right here. I'm not 100% sure what this philodendron is. I do love the modern look of all of the planters that Live Trends design has to offer. And that's the thing about going to Lowe's locations. It makes it super exciting because you will be able to find really healthy plants, budget-friendly plants, easy care plants for a cost-effective price. And it's different types of nurseries that provide it. So Live Trends designs, and then we also have urban jungle plants, and then obviously we've got Costa Farms plants right here. This one is a Costa Farms Trending Tropical plant, and this one is for $19.99. $0.98, and this isn't a self-watering planter. This is a philodendron pink princess, and you'll notice it doesn't have the high variegation that some of the philodendron pink princess has. But what you will notice as I do my big box store plant shopping video today at this particular Lowe's is a lot of these plants will grow in this location specifically and actually put on a lot of growth. Now this one right here, $15.84, is a self-watering planter of a Ficus elastica, or I'm sorry, not a Ficus elastica, Ficus lyrata or fiddle fig leaf tree. Love this one as well. And the thing about it is, if you notice at this Lowe's location, it is in almost like a greenhouse type room where it's getting a lot of bright light throughout the day. And so you'll notice that a lot of these plants have put on quite a bit of growth. This one is for $24.98. For instance, this is a philodendron Birkins. Love the striping of the philodendron Birkins. Beautiful, beautiful plant. Really enjoy the fact that this particular philodendron has been available for quite a while. And, you know, as far as easy care plants, I would recommend most philodendron. I would definitely recommend Aglionema. I would definitely recommend pothos plants, and even Ficus elastica, the burgundy one, for instance. And then you can see over here, this one is a calathea of some sort by Life Trends Design. I love the pink planter. I've seen this quite often, but as far as calatheas, if you ask my honest opinion, they are not beginner plants. They are plants that you're going to have really good ambient humidity, like higher humidity levels, in order for you to be able to grow them. This one right here is the Ficus elastica burgundy. Again, I mentioned that it would be an easy care plant, especially if you're able to just grow them outdoors. I grow my Ficus plants in full sun outdoors, and they're doing fabulous. Now, this is so beautiful to me. So look at this planter by Life Trends Design. Notice how it's got a beautiful modern look to it, but look at this monstera right here. So this has several different type of monstera plants in one. You'll notice that it is sun stressed. So we're seeing the monstera neon, where it's basically a lighter lime color. I'm going for a pretty hefty price, but you'll notice that this one right here has gotten way too much light. So that's gotten a little bit more sun stressing. It's kind of bleached it out a little bit. Needless to say, it is still a beautiful plant. I love that it's pretty full, and you'll see that the roots have really dug itself in there. It is going to need a support system for it to continue to grow long term. I like monsteras. The only thing about monsteras is that they do require quite a bit of space long term. This one is another urban jungle plant for $21.98. You'll notice the stark difference of philodendron Birkins. This one has really high variegation, and I really do think that it's a combination of the genetics of the plant, but also the amount of light you provide it. So if this one has gotten quite a bit of light, you'll notice that it has pushed out quite a bit of that white striping, which makes it absolutely stunning. So plant foldies, I hope you guys are enjoying today's video so far. I know that I showed you my grandmother's amazing plants, but I also wanted to show you lots of these gorgeous plants that you can find at Lowe's. Big box store plant shopping is really the core of this YouTube channel. So you'll notice that I will do a lot of these, hopefully more consistently in the future. I know this week, the beginning of the month and the end of the month tend to be very hectic for me. I don't have nearly as much time to go out and film, but hopefully you guys will forgive me. And if I'm not able to produce a big box or plant shopping video, I would hope, especially for my loyal viewers, that you guys would just rewatch some of my videos, maybe comment on some of them, and, you know, join the team replay team. Anyways, here are some more beautiful plants that you can find at Lowe's. This one is a Dieffenbachia, $15.98 in a self-watering planter. And, you know, I'm really tempted to add Dieffenbachia into my plant collection. But the thing about it is, you already know that Dieffenbachia are a little bit more challenging to grow because of the lighting conditions, and they're susceptible to spider mites. So, you know, in terms of the plants that we look at often whenever we go big box or plant shopping, whenever I give these plant care tips, just know that it's something that I have learned throughout my experience. So it's not always an end all be all care tip. Sometimes people's environments end up just doing better for a plant. Sometimes you might be able to get away with growing a plant that needs a little bit more light in lower light conditions. Maybe it's because the plant has acclimated to less light. I'm not 100% sure, but I will say the biggest drawback to growing plants in an indoor space is the watering, the time that it takes to water a plant. So I will ask any of the viewers that are engaged in watching this video today, if you can please leave a comment in the comment section about how long it takes for you to water your plant. I would really appreciate it, because as I share more and more about myself through my YouTube channel and my plant shopping journey, I would like to also get to know your daily routines for your plants, what plants you're getting. And I appreciate those that have actually taken the time to just leave comments, multiple comments for me to read. It really does keep me engaged with also our community. So I'm just gonna walk around here. The main event is about to happen. You'll notice that this is literally a full-blown greenhouse. And this is the reason why sometimes it is worth driving a little bit longer to go to a big box store that you know is going to be merchandised and organized well, and also have the selection of plants that you're always looking for. I mean, for instance, here, look at this beautiful philodendron Prince of Orange. This is a Live Trends design plant for $14.98 in a self-watering planter. And just look at that stunning orange color. So what I'm gonna do for just a little bit is just pick up some plants, show you what they look like, and hopefully flash the plant price. Feel free to leave in the comments what you think of this particular Lowe's location. And again, if you have made it this far into the video, please make sure you are pressing the thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely pushes this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. And truthfully, full transparency, I would love for my grandmother to just go trending on YouTube. I mean, I want everybody to see how healthy she is, how happy she is, what benefits growing plants at her age, 90 years old, has done for her over the 9 decades she has been alive. So I would hope you guys would actually leave a comment for her, press the like button, share this video, and continue to watch this video as well. Everybody remembers when Monstera Thai constellations were very challenging to find, very expensive about 5 years ago, and now you can find it at a big box store. A rare variegated plant. Actually, it's not rare anymore, it's pretty common. $29.98 by Costa Farms, and shout out to Costa Farms for always making these plants that used to be super rare, super expensive, a little bit more budget friendly for the average plant collector. And you know, I truly believe that plants should never be just exclusive to one particular person, but also for everybody in the masses to be able to enjoy plants, because plants really do bring people happiness, but more so plants bring people really great wellness and mental well-being. That is really proven by my grandmother, who has been growing plants for so many years. I mean, for somebody, again, that is 90 years old, she has lived and is still living a very healthy and meaningful life. And it's because she has surrounded herself with plants, and also just a really good family support system. So I always just get excited. I know that I'm probably talking more so about my grandmother versus the plants, but I mean, let's be real. We've seen these plants from my big box or plant shopping videos in a previous video. If you haven't, definitely binge watch my plant shopping videos. But in terms of my grandmother, whenever I get to see her, she just brings me so much joy. She brings me so much hope. And for somebody who is a little bit more on the mature side, maybe on the older side, just think of how old my grandmother is. She is 90 years old, and she always tells me it is your mindset that dictates whether you're going to have a great day or a not so great day. It is your mindset to choose to lay in bed and feel like you are helpless, or to push yourself and really find the things that are going to bring you joy and bring you happiness. And I have to commend her for just really giving me that that advice as well, because there have been some tough times. I would say in the last week, I just haven't been doing as well with just my job being super stressful and just life in general being hectic, and then just feeling bad. I mean, honestly, I know you guys are saying that you guys will be here even if I'm not able to get videos on a daily basis. But for me, I'm a person that if I commit to something, I really want to make you know, a statement and make sure that I am able to accomplish my commitment. So again, you know, Plant Foldies, thank you again for the patience in me just being able to produce some videos. I'm hoping that I can be a little bit more consistent. And so I thank all of the Plant Foldies again for just tuning into my videos, watching my videos, listening to me talk about plants and just talk about random things, because this does bring me a lot of joy and really does help me get through my days. It brings me satisfaction and fulfillment to be able to provide plant shopping videos for everybody to enjoy. So I'm just gonna continue to walk around and show you the gorgeous plants. As you can see right here, this is one of the best big box store places to go plant shopping if you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Again, this is the Lowe's location in Plano, Texas, right off of intersection 75. So definitely check this place out if you haven't already. And then also just let me know if you ever visit via Instagram. Follow me on Instagram at Growfolds. And I've been mentioning this to a lot of the Plant Foldies. If you don't have an Instagram page, definitely consider creating a page, because you will get a lot more updates from me and also just be able to get more access to a lot of content creation by other plant content creators. And if you didn't notice, I did produce a membership only video of my baby chickens journey from day one until current day on my YouTube membership tier called the Super Plant Foldies. I did make it public and did a live premiere just because I felt like the baby chickens have been part of the general Plant Foldie community. But again, if you are considering joining my YouTube membership tier, you will have access to exclusive videos, or at least get access to videos before the general Plant Foldie public. You will also have access to the really cool custom emoji stickers that you can use on the live premiere chats. And more so, it's just a sustainable way to support a content creator like me. It is only for $2.99. It's literally a cup of coffee if you want to support your favorite YouTuber or content creator. YouTube memberships really do help us out. So anyways, let me stop with all of the commercial plugs, because I already know somebody in the video that is watching is probably going to try to roast me and say, Richie, you are just so commercial, or Richie X, Y, and Z. I don't really have time for that. I did want to just put it out there. So anyways, Plant Foldies, let's go ahead and just keep picking up these plants and looking at the prices as well. At all the beautiful Costa Farms plants. So they've got literally a full aisle of organized, healthy, lush Costa Farms plants. These ones are $5.98, and this one is our first Hydra Helix, or the correct way to say it, you know I have to say it, Hedera Helix, or the English Ivy. This one is the Jubilee English Ivy. Beautiful plant right here. And you'll notice that if you are actually in this Lowe's location, it's very humid inside here. It's literally a greenhouse. So this is the reason why a lot of these plants look lush and full. I mean, look at this neon pothos right here for $5.98. I would recommend this as a beginner plant, an easy to care for plant, a plant that even if you have like over 200 plants, add yourself a neon pothos plant. houseplant. You will not regret it. They're super easy. They're super easy to propagate. They are one of the plants that you can bring joy to somebody else's plant collection, because you can like chop and prop and then give them as gifts. My grandmother does that all day, every day, and hopefully she's going to actually set up a booth at a farmer's market in North Houston where she will be selling some plants. So if anybody's actually interested in buying some of those black magic begonias from my grandmother, I would totally ship it out to you if you live in the United States. That would bring her a lot of joy, because she really doesn't think that she could sell plants, but I truly believe that, and she has a stock that she continues to replenish. Like every month she has like another 30 to 40 propagations that are ready to go. So let me know in the comments section, or if you have Instagram, send me a direct message for that. Now over here is $15.98, and this is a prime example of a plant that has been growing very well in a big box store. So even the environment of this particular big box store is conducive to this plant, or a lot of the plants, to really put out a lot of growth. I think that if you are able to find a plant that is trailing, that has pushed on a lot of growth, and you're getting even more value for your money, I feel like you're actually saving more money, because you're getting an established plant. You can see even through all of the Costa Farms plants that I'm picking up that they are super lush, and they've already pushed out quite a bit of growth. So a lot of it may have to do with the environment. I wouldn't necessarily say that this particular Lowe's location has the same intensity in taking care of their plants. You know, correct me if I'm wrong. I know that they consistently water these plants, but I do think the added amount of great lighting conditions and the humidity that this area has really pushes out a lot of growth. I mean, look at this golden pothos right here for $5.98. This one has already started to trail. So let's just keep looking at some of these plants that they have at this Lowe's location. Example of plants that have just been growing here for a little bit, and you can see how much growth it's been put. All of these lush and trailing golden pothos by Costa Farms are only for $15.98. I mean, look at how much growth you are already getting. And so if you're looking to save money while you're going shopping for houseplants, big box store is where it's at, but this particular big box store is where you need to be shopping, because you're going to get some amazing Lowe's deals. Here is another Hydra Helix. This one is the Asterix Ivy, and you'll hear a lot of Hydra Helix today. So for my plant foldies that like to count how many Hydra Helix are in this video, please leave the final tally in the comment section below. I'm just really curious, because I don't even know. And you know, shout out to Kathy. For those that don't know, we love to shout out Kathy from Canada. She is a loyal plant foldie from the very beginning. Hopefully you guys will give her credit for counting how many Hedera Helix I will shout in the video. I mean, look at this. This is another Hydra Helix. This one is the Royal Hustler Ivy, and this is an example, again, of how a plant has just pushed out so much growth. And with English Ivy, if you give them a lot of humidity, they are just going to grow super invasive. I would not recommend planting this Hydra Helix in the ground, because they are very invasive. They will take over your yard. They are almost just as bad as growing mint in your landscape. So for me, like I said again, because some people have tried to get negative with me and tried to roast me and say, stop telling people to grow English Ivy outdoors. What I mean about growing English Ivy outdoors is to make sure you grow them in a container and put them in a shaded patio, not necessarily in your landscape. And like I said again, I always mention this in a lot of my videos, and a lot of times it's because I want to utilize this platform for people to really reflect on some of the behaviors that they exude, because some people may not be aware that their social media presence may be seen as being negative. And like I said again, there is just so much negativity out there. Social media tends to get that that rap because people are quick to judge people that they've never met in person. They are quick to ask for demands and don't realize that the amount of time somebody places into creating content creation may not always fit the bill for somebody as well. And then just overall, the things that people may say behind a screen name, it's easy for somebody to hide and be that critical. But like I've said before, would you really say that to somebody's face? Or would you even say that to, say, my grandmother, my family, my close friends, your close friends, or your family? So that's really my my ramble for today in terms of social media etiquette. Let's always be kind, and let's always be mindful, because before you press send on a social media comment or a direct message, think about how that impacts a person. Because for me, I think a lot of my advocacy when it comes to just creating content on YouTube is really protecting those that may not necessarily be as outward about keeping negativity off of social media. I know that there are some content creators that have really been discouraged to the point where they just stop making content because of the bashing that they get. So, you know, that's something I will continue to talk about on all my big box store plant shopping videos or my content, just because we may always get new viewers, and some people may just not be aware that that's not always appropriate in the appropriate behavior. I mean, I've been given feedback. I myself have maybe have done things that may not always have been the right behavior for somebody, and I've been giving feedback, and I was able to actually make adjustments. So that's really my message for everybody today in terms of social media etiquette. And as we're looking at that, look at that Hydra Helix. That one is a wonderful ivy right there, and you can see this is another Hydra Helix right over there. So lots of English ivy that we are passing by, tons and tons of English ivy. This particular Lowe's location tends to get it. And then of course, you already know, plant foldies, if you do not have an Aglionema Silver Bay, for $15.98, this Aglionema Silver Bay can be yours. Several plants, easy care plant, a beginner plant, one that I would say if you want to call yourself a plant foldie, you have to have an English, I mean, not well, an English ivy too, I suppose, but an Aglionema Silver Bay. For those that have sent me direct messages saying that they bought an Aglionema because of the conversations I've had with the plant foldies, really appreciate it. I am still part of the hashtag popularize Aglionema to the universe, to the world. So hopefully you guys will continue to post your Aglionema collections. Just remember, these care tips for Aglionema is water when the soil is completely dry. Give them fast draining soil. Even a succulent type mix would work well for an Aglionema. Try not to water their foliage or keep it wet, because that could actually make them susceptible to fungus. That's where the leaves start to get a little brown and mushy, and that's just not good for the plant. Now you can see right here, this is a snow white waffle plant. I love the coloration. It just doesn't love me because of the watering requirements. I have to stay on top of the watering, and truthfully, I keep my plant collection in drought because sometimes I just get lazy. I'm not even going to be beating around the bush. Sometimes I neglect my plants because I don't always feel like I want to just water my plants. Sometimes I just want to sit and be resting, if that makes any sense. I know that that is probably the most overwhelming part about plant collecting and growing plants, is just that you have to water them a little bit more consistently. The more plants you have, plant foldies, like I said again, the more you're going to have to spend time taking care of them. Now, I wish I could be like my grandmother, where she literally has a routine every day. She wakes up super early. She eats her bowl of oatmeal with chia seeds, and then she goes out into the yard and starts walking around and taking care of her plants. That is literally my dream when I am able to retire someday. Now over here, guys, plant foldies, this one is an Epipremnum aureum lemon meringue pothos. Now it's labeled as a Granjula pothos, but a Granjula pothos has rounder, larger leaves. But this is still interesting by Costa Farms because for $16.98, a really nice value for a hanging basket plant. So like I said again, with Costa Farms, so many great value plants. You will get a really good price for them, and it just makes it exciting. Like I'm always tempted to buy these syngoniums that are in hanging baskets because look at how pretty it is. Look at how lush and full they are. Now the thing about syngoniums, they hate to stay dry for too long, otherwise they start to just want to go to plant heaven. So please, 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 if you have a syngonium, you can even just grow them hydroponically in straight water and they will do well, and you don't ever have to worry about watering them. But syngoniums definitely need to be watered a little bit more frequently. Now look at all of these other plants here, more Dieffenbachia for $15.98. So I'm just going to keep picking up plants. Feel free to leave in the comment section what you think about the plants, commentary about social media etiquette, anything on your mind. I would love to just hear from you guys because as I do these types of plant shopping videos, a lot of it is also geared to interactions, leaving comments, making sure you're pressing the thumbs up or like button. I know that I've repeated myself probably a million times, but there are times where I'm like, we had 1,000 views, but there was only like 66 likes for the video. So I'm trying to understand, was there something I did wrong for you to not like the video? So if anything, guys, and I'm saying this out of full transparency, if you watch YouTube videos for any content creator, literally that like button, which is literally a tap on your finger, will make it so much easier for this content to get pushed out to more plant lovers. So again, let's go ahead and just keep looking at these plants. You'll notice that this particular Lowe's is also super organized. And so for me, it's one of those places where it's worth the drive. It is a little bit more of a drive for me. It's a good 35-minute drive from where I am based at. But when I'm seeing beautiful Aglionema red cyans for $15.98, it makes the trip worthwhile. Please buy yourself an Aglionema red cyan if you also do not have one in your plant collection. So let's continue to go plant shopping, plant foldies. Plant foldies, as you saw, we have so many lush and healthy plants, but we also have those clearance plants right over there. For me, rescue plants are a bit of a gamble because they may actually harbor plant pests as well as just the amount of time to rehab them. But kudos to anybody who rescues plants. Shout out to David, a plant foldie that continues to give super plant foldie memberships. I really appreciate you, and I also appreciate the fact that you do rescue plants from Lowe. So I thought that was awesome. And now plant foldies, this whole aisle is impressive. And can you see why it's super impressive? Because there's so many plants that are trailing and just looking super lush and just super full. It looks like a jungle right here with the amount of plants that are trailing and vining and just looking super healthy. And then we also have a forest of Aglionema red siams. I am obsessed with Aglionemas. I am addicted to Aglionemas. I have another shipment from overseas of some more rare and uncommon Aglionemas. And so, for anybody that has not watched my overseas unboxing video from leafcrafter.id, definitely check it out. I've got a couple of plant foldies that have placed orders from leafcrafter.id on Instagram, as well as Green Spaces ID. Hopefully you guys will support the cause of getting more plants. But you'll see right here, look at this Epipremnum pinnatum, Baltic blue. You can see that it is trailing, and then there's just so many other plants here. I love a nice trailing golden pothos or any type of pothos plant right here. You can see we've just got several to choose from, and so I'm just going to keep picking up some of these and showing you the lush growth that they have. Plant foldies, I'd love for you to comment in the comments section if you would buy one of these plants from here, just because of the growth that they've already pushed out at this big box store. Let me know in the comment section below. Like I said again, your comments really mean a lot to me. I like to hear what you're thinking and just your insights about these plants. As I pick up these plants like this Dieffenbachia, there's 2 varieties. I could be more so even proud of myself because I have not succumbed to just buying plants on an impulse. The only plant addiction now that I have is an Aglionema addiction. And so for me, if I don't want to buy Aglionemas, I'm just not going to look at some of the overseas plants that I have access to. So, we talk about plant addictions, and literally it is a thing. Plant addictions is real. I would just want to know if anybody else has a plant addiction. Feel free to leave in the comment section below which plant addiction you have, because I could totally see myself buying this beautiful Costa Farms Philodendron Ring of Fire for $19.98. Look at how large it is, lush and full. And so for anybody in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that wants to go plant shopping, that wants to go to a big box store that is super lush and full and very consistent, go to this Lowe's location off of I-75 in Plano, Texas. There is a Daiso, which is a Japanese dollar store near it. Also a Walmart right next to it as well. So you can go big box or plant shopping at 2 different big box stores if you make the trip out here. It's very accessible as well. So as you can see right here, plant foldies, I'm looking at Sansevierias. I'm looking at all of these philodendrons. I'm looking at a lot of these different types of plants. And you'll see this philodendron Pink Princess is a different type of batch for only $15.98. So the pricing has been lowered. It's a little bit more cost effective as compared to the trending tropical version of the Philodendron Pink Princess by Costa Farms. This one has some nice variegation as well. Like I said, for Philodendron Pink Princess, be selective of the variegation that one pushes out, because it is literally reliant on the variegation that is already the genetics of the plant. Now you can see right here, this is a beautiful Alocasia Silver Dragon for $19.98. I'm a little bit more partial to my grandmother's Alocasia Silver Dragon. It tends to be a little bit larger and more healthy, but it's still beautiful. more Live Trends design plants right here. This is a Peperomia obtusifolia for only $14.98 in a self-watering planter. So, you know, plant foldies, at least I was able to get a little bit longer content video and really show you some amazing plants today. I haven't been as consistent about getting these big box or plant shopping videos, so I really am thankful that you guys have really tuned in. I hope everybody has had an amazing 4th of July. You know, 4th of July, if you live in the United States, you can find some really good sales. And so I am happy that I'm actually off this 4th of July weekend. So I will be spending some time, you know, hanging out with family. Me and Luke are going to be hanging out and doing some fun activities. We're going to see some friends. We're going to spend time with the chickens, and I'm going to go film some plant shopping video and get some more there, and also get my food blog finally uploaded on the YouTube membership tier. So again, plant foldies, if you haven't already, give me a chance to give you some more exclusive content by joining my YouTube membership tier. It definitely helps support me and my plant addiction, and just everything that has to do with the supplies that I need for this YouTube channel. But you'll see right here, I am also tempted to buy these syngoniums right here. Like, these are super pink syngoniums. You know, I am a sucker for pink plants. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are, but look at how beautiful those urban jungle syngoniums are for only $13.98. So lots of value, lots of great plants to choose from. As I round out this plant shopping video today, I just want to pan around here and just show you how super full this Lowe's location is. I think it's definitely worth it. You know, some of my tips again on how to save money at a big box store is: number one, download the big box store app. So whether it's the Lowe's app, the Walmart app, you can get some coupons for that. Again, I have to say thank you to those that have tuned in to watch my video. Join my YouTube membership tier by clicking the link in the comment section. And as always, my name is Richie at Growfold. If you haven't pressed the subscribe button already, please do. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.